copy of our calendar. So a little more up close and personal today. We're going to be working into the quad. So I wanted to give a little bit of wall instruction yoga with a nice stretch for the quadriceps. So a lot of times we, I guess maybe more so in the yoga practice, we kind of forget to stretch this area out. We focus so much on the hips and we focus so much on the backs of the thighs, the hamstrings as we did, that we sometimes forget to really focus in on the quadriceps. So this is also going to be a nice hip flexor stretch as well, as everything is connected. So what you might want to do is get a towel or a blanket and place it, find a wall space where you can get, comfortable, and place the blanket right up towards the wall. Now from here, you can take yoga blocks if you need to build the ground up. And I'm constantly working with camera angles, so if anybody has any advice for me, I am all for it. So this might take a moment to get into, so just be mindful here. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to move, you don't want to put the blanket or towel right up against the wall, but you want to basically come into a tabletop pose. And again, you can use the blocks under the hands if you need. Starting with that right knee, bring that right knee to the blanket. Flip the toes over to face the wall. And then you want to try to see if you can get that left foot in between the blocks or in between the hands. And then from here, you're just going to kind of start to shift the hips back towards that back heel. And then softly see if you can bring the hands up to that left thigh. And then a gentle shift forward. Whoo! So you're probably feeling it from the knee area all the way up to either right below the hip flexor, or you might even be feeling it into the hip flexor. So you want to try to work with getting the torso up really nice and tall, looping the shoulders back. And just breathe here. And if you're not here today, you can keep your hands down on block or on floor and just keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. Maybe you're already feeling it right here, but for some of us, we might be able to come up, and that's okay. So time and practice again. Revisiting this video, testing out your flexibility as we move through some of these flows. So gentle shift forward. Patting that knee, being mindful there. I'm going to show you another little thing that we can do as well if this is too much. So there's going to be a couple of options in this video today. So softly come forward, and then you're going to gently see if you can bring that left knee back, and then softly bring that right knee off of the towel or blanket. Opposite side, so just gently walk back, take that left knee to the towel or blanket, flipping toes over to face the wall, and then walking your hands back, and then seeing if you can get that right foot in between blocks or in between hands. Taking it at your pace, and then see if you can gently start to bring it up. So the focus is on that left quadricep now. And breathing, see if you get the torso nice and straight. Again, if not, you can always come back down to the hands or to blocks. You can shift forward a little bit more while you're also, losing my balance a little bit, while you're also taking the torso and chest back. So shifting forward, taking it back just a little bit to really feel a nice quad stretch. If this is something new for you, it takes time. Again, revisiting this, asking any questions below if you have them. And then softly, slowly come out. Bring that right knee back down to the mat, and then move that left knee off of the blanket. All right, so for those of you that the wall was maybe a little too intense, totally cool, I get it. We're gonna do a modified heroes pose. So grabbing your prop, your stack of books, or your block, you might wanna make your stack of books a little taller if you can. We're gonna bring the block right in between our shins and sit it on its second height, okay? So bring the block right in between your shins, and then we're gonna start to softly, your feet are gonna kind of go off to the sides just a little bit here. So you don't need to bring them so close to the center. Allow them to float out towards the edges of the mat just a little bit. Starting to shift the hips, glutes, back to that block. Finding your balance here, okay? So just come to a nice seated position on the block. And then see if you can move the knees together just a little, if possible. And then one hand at a time, bring your hands in behind you. Maybe you're up here on the fingertips and this feels like, okay, I feel my quadricep. Or maybe you can come down a little bit farther, coming down to the palms, lifting up through the chest. So nice chest opener here as well. Or just maybe you're able to come down a little bit lower, walking hands forward, coming down to the forearms. Taking your time. Now you want to be mindful of the back here. And then from here you can even kind of grab the feet if you're on your forearms, pulling onto the feet. Take your gaze up, don't drop your neck back. Keep your chest nice and open. And this might be good right here. So stay right where you are if you're comfortable. Don't come down to the forearms if you don't feel like you can manage it right now. Stay up onto the palm of the hands, okay? No shame. Now, for some of us that might be able to do a little bit more, we can either lower the block or we can gently remove the block. So stay where you are. If your quads are already screaming and you're on the block, just stay right where you are. You can work into this. I'm just showing this as an option as you progress into your practice. You're going to start to shift. You're going to bring the knees together, start to shift the glutes back to sit in between the heels. And then from here, maybe you come back to the palms of the hands. And then from here, maybe you come all the way down to the forearms. My shoulders are super tight today, so I'm really kind of feeling it there. And then for a little bit more of a practitioner, somebody that might have been doing this for a while and is familiar with the pose, you might be able to lower all the way down onto the back and take the arms right in behind you. Opening through the quadricep area. You might also feel it again in the hip flexor. Deep breath in. Full breath out. So what you want to do is you want to be very mindful as you're coming out of this. So what I like to do if I'm all the way down, grab onto the ankles gently, allowing my legs to help support me as I pull myself back up. So I come up to the elbows, I walk the elbows back just a little bit, and then I kind of roll up from there, walk the forearms back, and then I softly, slowly come up to my hands. And then from here, just gently walk the hands forward, start to shift up, gently coming out of it, coming into a tabletop. So bring this shins parallel, and you can roll out the ankles here if you need to. Shift from one side to the other, and the hips. Maybe give the hips a couple of circles. And go ahead, bring your glutes back to your heels or come to your comfortable seat. Take your time, take your breath. Revisit this video. If you missed out on anything, feel free again to leave comments below if you have any questions.